In 2021, I decided that I wanted to write a fantasy novel. And the other two novels I had written were not fantasy at all. So I was looking around for a concept, and while I was browsing an agent's wish list, I saw that she said she wanted a story about a mermaid. So I thought to myself, what would make a story about a mermaid unique? And I answered myself that it would be if the mermaid had legs. And being a fairy tale lover, I decided to spin off from The Little Mermaid by starting with the premise that the original Little Mermaid double-crossed the sea enchantress, which resulted in her descendants being cursed. Something I've had to learn about myself as a writer who's also a mother to small children is that writing requires my brain power in a way that a lot of other tasks do not. For this reason, I choose to use time when my children are sleeping, when they're with other people, or when they're watching movies to write, because it is likely to be interruption-free time. A lot of other tasks I choose to do with my littles around. This strategy of saving up interruption-free time to write, it helps me to be more effective as a writer and also as a mom, because I'm able to be more focused on my children during the time that we're together. So my fuel for life is actually kombucha. And about 4 years ago, when I was drinking 3 or 4 bottles a week, my husband suggested that I might want to consider brewing my own. So I got started on that, and this is my homebrewed kombucha with some lovely raspberries at the top. And for any of you who want to see an oceanish creature, I have here my SCOBY. It's a little hard to see, but it's floating in that vat of tea, making me my fuel of choice. I would tell anyone who wants to write a retelling that they should look very closely at the original story and find out what its heart is, what the main key points that you need to keep are, and then I would look for ways to spin it and make it your own. And the beauty of retellings is that they combine the familiar, which human beings love, with novelty, which we also greatly desire. Are two things that help me to get through the writing process when I'm stuck. The first thing is to keep writing. The act of pushing forward and writing words, even when they might be bad, even when there might be 10 of them, it actually helps me in the end to break through that writer's block. And the second thing that helps me is to talk to someone about the problem I'm having. Sometimes they are able to solve it for me and to give me a good solution for it. And sometimes the very act of speaking through my issue helps it to clarify in my mind, and I realize how I could get through it. I absolutely adore the Pacific Ocean. My family used to go there almost every summer. My husband and I spent our honeymoon on the Oregon coast, and some of my best memories are there of jumping through the waves with my dad and my siblings and then my husband, and of smelling that salty air and looking for shells. And I am so happy to have a story that is set in the ocean. My advice for authors starting out on their publishing journey is threefold. The first piece of advice would be to keep writing. I know that when you start that publishing journey, it's really easy to get sucked into marketing and platform building and querying And that can distract you from the thing that you love most, that drew you into this world in the first place, which is writing. So keep writing those good books. I promise you, the time you spend there will not be wasted. And the second thing that I would say is connect with authors who are further along the journey than you are. From my experiences in the publishing world, authors are some of the kindest, most gracious and supportive people you will ever meet. So just send that email. Reach out to someone. Don't be pushy, but show genuine interest in their work and in their experiences in this world as they're farther along than you are. Those connections can last a lifetime and can just build a beautiful, beautiful community, which is very helpful during a publishing journey. And my third piece of advice would be to hustle while you wait. So if you have not yet signed a book contract or picked a publishing date, if you're indie publishing, use that time. Go to conferences, listen to podcasts, invest in courses, plan out your marketing strategy and launch plan. All of these things will take stress off of your shoulders when you do have deadlines. And that will make your whole experience a lot less frazzled. One of my favorite hobbies would definitely have to be running, as evidenced by these extremely dirty running shoes. I ran my first half marathon when I was 16, and I don't intend to stop. I am not a sprinter, but I love any distance over a 5K. I have always been a very eclectic reader, so I don't think I've ever had a favorite genre per se, but I have always been a fairy tale lover. And the way that has manifested itself in my life today is that 4 of my complete novels are fairy tale retellings. With The Mermaid's Tale on the brink of launching into the world, I've been thinking a lot about how this story and my writing can be a reflection of God's truth into the world. And as at many times in my life, the words of C.S. Lewis have helped me. So I wanted to read a quote to you all, and it says, "The sweetest thing in all my life has been the longing to reach the mountain, to find the place where all the beauty came from, my country, the place where I ought to have been born. Do you think it all meant nothing, all the longing for home? For indeed it now feels not like going, but like going back." And that is my hope, that my writing will awaken in people a longing for the God who gives all the beauty. Both of the books I had written previous to The Mermaid's Tale were not fantasy. The most difficult thing for me when getting into the speculative genre was learning to world build. It was just a learning process for me to find out how to make the Undersea realm believable and consistent, while at the same time making it a magical place that readers would be happy to return to. I love this question. And if I was taking one of my characters with me to see a musical, I would take Lachlan, because most more people cannot sing, which means that I think she would absolutely love to see an entire stage full of people singing. And I would take her to see Wicked, which is one of my top 2 favorite musicals, but I think it would also really resonate with her Elphaba's plight as someone who is shunned because of a characteristic that they can't control. As a discovery writer, my favorite part of drafting The Mermaid's Tale was getting to know my mer people. So I have a warrior queen who is hard and cynical on the outside and has a gentle side within. I have a mermaid with legs who is seeking to find where her worth lies when those around her tell her that she's worthless. I have a boy who is trying to run away from his responsibilities. And I have a man who is seeking the courage to risk rejection in a relationship that matters to him. And these mer people, they're real to me, and they will live forever in my mind. And that's it. I hope that you enjoy the undersea realm and the adventures of my tailless mermaid and her friends. I love connecting with other word people. So please, my DMs are always open. Shoot me a message, shoot me an email. I am so grateful for each and every one of you.